Now I'm going to ask Andile to go first, but good news. Eddie Zondi is enjoying the discussion and he's given us 10 minutes. So we'll go back for another round of calls. But Andile, let's respond to what we had.
So again, I think it's important that we allow different views within the party to emerge. And I think it's a very lively, enriching discussion that you're having.
Indeed.
And I think it is testimony to the democracy within the party that we could have this lively discussion amongst comrades and express our differences. But just to correct something, we are not ditching Comrade Terra. He's part of a collective. That's why we've nominated him for a different role than a president.
Oh, which role?
A national chairperson, which is an office bearer for the party. So this notion that we are throwing him to the wolves is a misnomer. We are saying he has played this role elsewhere, ably. And we are saying we think with his experience, he could play this role. And we need a new leader who can energize the party into the future. It's not that we do not, even in the Manual Guardian, I said, we'll always notice bravery to have served the divorce papers in the ANC. And therefore, the notion that we do not see leadership qualities in him is not true. But it's a different animal being a president of a party. And it requires different skills and different energies.
And you believe he does not have that particular skill set.
Precisely.
Okay, Philip?
No, I agree with Andile. I'm grateful that you're having the debate. And that's why I said it's unfortunate when the debate takes the tone of Andele's input and the press statement that was made by the youth movement today, which accused the president, myself, Smathan Konyama, and Hilde and Jude of being spies and agents of dark forces. You know, that's not the culture of debate that we want in the party. I appreciate Andile's view that let's debate this thing openly and constructively. Now, 3 important points. John Ngebecha has spoken about the processes in Gauteng. He would know himself that he went and held a press conference which members of his own interim leadership group were not aware of. And there have been objections from a number of regions in his province to say that you cannot consolidate the nominations that have taken place in our branches. Because, again, there are no rules that say if 10 branches nominate person X and 20 nominate person Y, that the provincial position is then that person Y becomes the candidate. We've never had such a discussion. What he's doing is he is unfortunately not let go of his ANC baggage, and he's behaving like he used to behave in the ANC. Congress of the People is a new party.
And I find that absolutely fascinating.
We need a new culture, and we are saying, and I think members of the party, but what has been expressed by some of us in the leadership is to say, don't preempt the process. Allow the ordinary men and women in the Congress of the People, the people who live in the village and in Dansani, who live in, the townships, the people who are staying in the rural areas, workers who are in a factory, to be the ones to come forward and say, we want person X. And I'm not being dictatorial and saying that is any one or another person. It's the youth movement, it's the Eastern Cape, and it's Gauteng who have come forward with a particular candidate. I'm not expressing a view on any candidate.
All right, we're going back to the lines. Joyce in Bloemfontein, good evening.
Comrade Philip must remember that he is a spokesperson for the entire organization, not a certain faction. That is my first point. My second point is that he's saying they have met over and over again, and there was no document from the second General Secretary. When Andile told him that today they had a meeting of which he knew, but because now he is on air because of the views of some group or some section in the COPE, he's saying that no, COPE is not ready to go to the Congress.
All right.
I'm definitely sure that Comrade Philip must know that whether they like it or not, COPE must go to the Congress.
Okay, and I'll tell you what I don't understand. Everybody here who has been having this, who has been a part of this discussion is from COPE. So I don't understand what is it that they don't get and they don't get, and these ANC tendencies and what's going on, Philip?
No, as I'm saying, the last commentator has expressed exactly the kind of view that I'm saying is unhelpful. She says to me, I wasn't at the meeting today and so on. Well, if the meeting today adopted the procedures, then the nominations can only be done from today. They can't be done from 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. And that's my point. I'm happy if the process was agreed to today. That's a step forward for us in the party because it will clarify how we do the nomination. But that means that any nominations, any announcements that were made prior to today were done before we had agreed on the processes in the party. And if you do that, what you do is you close down the democratic space for those who want to express their views. And it's not about Terra Lakota or Mbazi Mashaloa or Philip Dexter or Andile and Kutlu. It's about democracy in the party. And that's what we should be fighting for.
But the party, Andile, seems to have fallen prey to, exactly what it had accused. Some of his members had accused the ANC of having fallen prey to, and that is, leadership politics, where it's about individuals and not necessarily the policies that the party stands for.
Sakina, let me just be blunt here. As we go to this national conference, there are no discernible policies that are being debated arising in COPE. I know that certain regions and provinces are discussing it. I'm talking from a national structure.
But that's a huge indictment, Andile.
This is it. This is the point. This is the point that we've been making. That the sooner we accelerate, because this is a leadership that has been tired. This is a leadership that we gave a mandate in Bloemfontein that has not been able to carry this task. And that's why I'm saying, Philip, my friend, we always disagree and agree on many issues. But we must, all of us, accept that there will be a democratic outcome come May 27th.
Okay. All right. Philip, hold on, Philip. I need to take these calls and then I'll give you a chance to respond to this and the callers as well. Let's go to the Eastern Cape. Nonkululeko, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, my dear. I just want to ask Comrade Dexter not to use words that are not acceptable, like nonsense, over the radio. Because people are looking at the leaders of COPE as people who don't really...
But it's okay for Andile to call me a liar.
Okay, you guys, hold on, Philip, let her finish because we fast running out of time.
I'm saying COPE needs men and women who will be leading the Congress of the People with dignity and with men of integrity.
Okay, thank you, Nonkululeko. Tando in Roodepoort, good evening. Okay, we're going to Eastern Cape. Thabo, good evening.
No, good evening, Sakina. I'm not from the Eastern Cape and I'm Thabo from Roodepoort.
Hi, Thabo.
Quickly, this ingenuity of the COPE is very interesting. Perhaps as a transgender, let me observe and make the following observations quickly. One, I want to ask Andy, when is Thabo Mbeki going to announce, like Tumzile, going to announce his public membership of COPE? Two, there's a perception that COPE is associated with ethnical, sort of predomination of the Eastern Cape, particularly of PE. I want him to confirm it lastly.
Thank you, Sagina. There's one thing that we must say. Andile is not as Mr. Lindy said earlier on, he's not representing his jacket. One of the things that Andile said in summary is that the collective leadership elected through consensus in Bloemfontein this far has failed. That is a serious indictment. The summary of what has been saying in generally is that the leadership collective elected in Bloemfontein has failed.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there because I need to give Philip and then Andile an opportunity to respond. Starting with you, Philip.
Well, look, I do accept all the criticisms that Andile makes of us as the leadership that was elected in Bloemfontein. But if you look at his own province, he's faced very similar problems. He's been the chairperson of a province which has been fractured by divisions, people arguing over points about who represents who. And I've never once said that those things are because of Andile as a person. That's a collective. I think what's unfortunate is when you look at what's happening at a national level, that he doesn't take co-responsibility for what is happening. And rather than saying that this individual or that individual can solve the problem, which can't be the case, that what it's about is the policies and the positions and the program of the parties. If we were to have a leadership debate over those issues, it would be far more constructive. I have no doubt that we would choose this or that individual at the end. But what we don't want is to preempt the process by saying this person is a superman or a superwoman who will lead us to Uhuru.
Okay, Philip, Andile?
No, just to say, when I made the point that The consensus of Bloemfontein has come to haunt us. I took collective responsibility. I was part of that decision. And therefore I'm saying we must do something and correct it through an elective process and emerge with a leadership collective that is inclusive, that brings the old and the new, that allows second layer leadership to emerge and different schools of thought. And that's why as Eastern Cape we've nominated Philip. We may disagree, but we know his political credentials. And therefore we are willing to work with those we can differ with. And that is the strength of COPE, rather than to blunt it by all those who will be yes men. And all that we are saying, there's a role for Likota in COPE, in a different role, but we think that the man of the hour is Shilowa today, and he must rise to that occasion.